Welcome, welcome, willkommen, bienvenue, benvindo, bienvenidos, dobre pojalovitz. Oh my God, look at me go. This is the most interesting news in the world. I'm your host, Connor Hill. What are we talking about today? We're talking about bodies. And I'm kind of like making this face because we're trying to, I shouldn't say we because I'm not really there. I guess I could say we because I'm like here. Trying to put my son to sleep. And it sounds like he's not asleep. Yep, nope, he's not asleep. Because we need like noisemakers and oh good, it's actually on. Okay. This is, you use a cell phone and have this app called white noise. And then you just turn the app on and it like makes white noise. It's just like that way when there's a noise in the background, he doesn't jump and wake up. Because if there is, he jumps and wakes up like freaking crazy. So I apologize that I'm doing that while it's happening. I have absolutely no control over exactly when he goes to sleep. How many of you have been trying to control your bodies? Ooh. Ah. Wow. So I love that the reason I'm like, oh, it's like I love that it's like, I can feel a lot of people being like, well, you know, uh, should I try to control my body? Is it bad? Is it good? I'm gonna judge it. Wait, I shouldn't judge it. Da, 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 like trying to figure it all out. So let's do something I did for the first time ever this morning, which I'm kind of surprised took me so long to do it, is what have you defined as your body? You're like, of course, Connor, it's this thing. Right. What's that mean? So everything that is times the Godzilla would destroy and uncreate it all. And this is the Access Consciousness clearing statement. If you want more information, you can go to theclearingstatement.com. Right and wrong, good and bad, puck and pot all nine, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. So what have you defined as not your body that actually is? Everything that is for all of you times the Godzilla would destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, puck and pot, all nine, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. Now, some of you might be looking, oh my God, maybe I should find a dictionary. I actually have one behind me. Right there. Oh my goodness. Should we open it up and see? Hmm? 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 Yes, let's do it. Oh my God. Why not? So exciting. It's like the biggest book I've ever owned. It is a 19 Webster's International, New International, latest authentic edition of the Merriam series with reference history, CNC Merriam Co. And if you look inside the cover, this giant beast, it is from 1929. Oh my God. It's 2024, which means you are like, this book, you are like 95 years old. Wow. Good book. So let's go to bodies. B is for bodies. B, do, 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 do. So why is this quote unquote significant? Well, definition, if you look up the definition of the word definition, it literally means limitation. So how much have you been putting limitations on your body by the definitions you've been living from? And how many of those definitions did you buy from some other stupid person? So everything that is for all of you times a godzillion. Will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. I didn't really realize today was going to be such an intense call. I thought I was going to be talking about the 3-day body class. Oh my God, that was amazing. I just saw this squirrel do like a super death-defying leap from one thing to the tree. That was cool. Okay. Bodies. Because I have an ability to lose my attention in the direction in which I think I'm going very quickly. B-O-D, B-O-D-N-L-E-A. E with some stuff above it. B-O-D, B-O-D-Y? B-O-D-Y? B-O-B, C-D-E. Bodily, body. Body. The total organized substance of an animal or plant, whether living or dead, the aggregate of tissues viewed as an entity, the physical organism. In the case of human beings, body is commonly contrasted with soul. In the case of animals or plants, it is distinguished from the animal or plant considered as a bionomic, but I don't know why I feel like I've never read that word before, organism. And here it is, absent in body but present in spirit, from Corinthians. 2. The trunk or main part, especially of a person or animal or plant, as distinguished from the limbs and the head. Interesting. The main, central, or principal part, as of a tree, army, country, structure, etc. Example, who set the body and the limbs of this great sport together? Interesting. 3. Specifically, the nave or central portion of a church, the better box of a vehicle, on or blah blah blah. So it kind of like keeps going. The part or type between the shoulder and the feet by the depth. Wow, isn't that interesting? So there's a definition for like all of it, but then there's also a definition for like doesn't include your arms and legs. Interesting. This is the most interesting news in the world. Haha. So, the part of a garment covering the body as distinguished from the parts and blah blah blah. So it keeps going on. You know, man. So everything that brought up for everybody, I'm kind of like, I'm over it. Sometimes I have to ask, like, am I over it, or was I just about to read the most interesting part? Was I just, no. So I'm just asking. I kind of feel like I should have kept reading. It sounds like Sebastian is not going to sleep. I hear the door open. So everything that brought up for all of you, times a godzillion, really destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. Now, the other thing we want to look at is like, not like the other thing you want to look at, I guess I should say. One of the questions I like to ask is, okay, is any of that reality? How much of that have I made reality? How much have I made of that real? Is any of it true? Like, it could be true. Like, yes, it includes all of that I can touch and feel that is part of my body. And does it include more? So everything that is for all of you, times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. So, let's just run that again. So everything, everything you've defined as your body that is not, will you destroy and uncreate all that? Times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all nine shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. And everything you've defined as not your body that actually is, will you destroy and uncreate all that? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all nine shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. That's fun. That just like makes my whole body relax. That's great. So if you did not know, I'm an Access Consciousness 3-day body class facilitator. If you're like, what does that mean? What does that create? Well, there's a lot you've got to do and choose and be in order to become an Access Conscious 3-day body class facilitator. I'm kind of looking at it like, wow, this is really cool. I'm glad I am one. When I wasn't, I looked at it and I was like, it seemed daunting. I was like, oh my God, how could I ever possibly do that? So in the 3-day body class manual, I don't even remember how, there's let's call it 60, give or take. I think there's a little bit more nowadays. 60 body processes. Now, if you're like, what is a body process? Well, an access conscious body process, most of the time, 99.9% of the time, put your hands on the body, not like all over it and touchy feely. No, you just like set them on the body. You could even actually do this right now. Let's do this. So we're going to run a body process called MTVSS. Not all of your bodies are going to be able to run this. Sorry. So actually I'm going to change it. We're not going to do MTVSS. Oh, we're going to do cellular memory. Yes. Okay. So if you look at a scar on your body, or there's scar tissue, or if you just immediately scratch your body and you're looking for it to heal, you can grab it, and to help it heal faster, touch it, like grab it, and go cellular memory, point of creation, turn. And you can say it 3 times if you want. You can say it in your head. You can say it out loud. There's really no steadfast rules to this, but this is what we can say to request to bring up the energy. And when I say energy, energy is consciousness. What is consciousness? Consciousness includes everything and judges nothing. And energy is an acknowledgement of, I would like to say everything that binds us, but it's not binding from your normal definition. It's not from limitation. It's, you could think of it as like the force. I don't really like the word force from Star Wars, but it is, that's, I guess, a more advanced version. You could think of it as like when you walk into a room and maybe there's a bunch of people in the room and everyone's upset and you're like, ooh, what the hell, who died in here? Like, damn, everybody, like, what's going on? Or you walk into a room and it's really vibrant and you're like, yeah, I like the energy of this room. Like, you've already said it, you already know it, you call it vibes, you call it whatever you want to call it, but you are aware of energy. Everyone's aware of energy, whether they realize it or not. Some people try to block it out and not be aware of energy. Some people try to hide from it. Some people try to act like they're not aware of it. Some people like to act like they're more aware than other people, and those people are typically the least aware of it, so on and so forth. But we're really just asking, with this cellular memory point of creation turn, we're asking the body, like, because, like, you get cut or an injury occurs and the body's like, what the fuck happened? Like the cells of your body are like, oh my God, what just happened? Yeah. And you're going, hey, cellular memory, the memory of the cell, point of creation turns. We're going to the point of the creation of the cell, point of the creation of the trauma, point of creation of, well, all points of views you have about anything really, and just going turn. So you can do this with any point of view. You can do this with, apparently I want to keep holding that. See, because I actually do. I have a scar. Maybe you can't even tell. I fell off my bike 20 years ago, maybe even longer, 25 years ago. But it was actually very useful because I had a wart. When I fell off my bike, I was like, yay, the wart's gone. So cellular memory point of creation turn, cellular memory point of creation turn, cellular memory point of creation turn. Run. Right, run, get back, pop up on 9 shorts, boys, puppets, man. So you don't have to say it all like that. You can just do it. Interestingly enough, it's making my whole body feel better. So you can do this and it can reduce the effects, the visible effects of the scar. I'm slightly inclined to not say that because some people will call up and be like, it didn't work, the scar is still there. Maybe keep going. But one of the things it also does do is it like releases the points of views that you have about whatever it was that occurred. Like what's interesting for me at the moment is as I'm doing this, I'm recalling the bicycle accident I had. Like I came off my bicycle, I was riding full speed, like 12 years old, 13 years old, something like, not a big kid, but I wasn't even a big kid when I was a kid. I was like the smallest kid in my class, but I was riding full speed, like as fast as a car, 20 miles an hour, which was kind of fast if you think about it. But I'm just thinking those streets were like normal streets through a town. And so I would always try and like race cars. Not that they noticed, but I would try and go as fast as them. And I was going super fast. And then the chain popped off. So, and then my next pedal, there was no resistance. So I just freaking flew over the handlebars and tumbled. And then my bike was pretty messed up and I was pretty messed up, scraped all over the place. And then I walked the rest of the way to my friend's house. And the second I got to my friend's house, his mom looked out the window and went, "Oh my gosh," she freaked out. And I actually stopped there. I'm like, "Oh my God," because I said my mom. And I was like, "Oh my God," everywhere I made her my mom. And all the lifetimes in which she was my mom. I know, these are weird conversations. Interesting. I'm just trying to create all that. Right, wrong, good, bad, public, all night, shorts, boys, po-bads, and beyonds. Wow, that is wild. And if you're like, "What's wild?" I'm not even sure. I'm not sure what's going on. This is the craziest show I've done yet. Jesus, you guys are nuts. It's all your fault. We're headed this direction. So she saw me and apparently noticed immediately that I was in shock because I was like pale white. So if you don't know what a shock is, like your body inputs tons of adrenaline into the body to like get it moving, to get it to safety, blah, 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 blah. You can look it up as far as science is concerned. So, and adrenaline is a drug. So it's actually, I might actually even be changing some of the effects of that sort of drug as it was applied to my whole body to like get me out of that situation. And sort of any fear, any points of views I picked up from her. Because I was relaxed. I was like, I mean, she's like, "What happened?" I was like, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, like my knee is bleeding and my arm is bleeding and my hip is bleeding. And I was more upset about my bicycle. Like my bicycle was messed up. Wow. But I'm remembering as I went inside her house, she's like, "Oh my God." She was like going nuts. Like, "Oh, I can't believe, blah, blah, wow. Oh, you're in trouble. Like, sit down, blah." I was like, "Oh man." So, whew. And I'm a healer. My body is a healer. So, holy cow. Everywhere in my body. Thanks for everybody said. I did not know that this was, man, this is wild. I'm like, well, whatever. We're going. And I sat there. And so everywhere, what the questions I'm asking with my body, and you can ask this with your body, everywhere I like, because my body is a healer. So how many of you is your body a healing body? It heals other bodies and other people's. And everywhere you haven't acknowledged that, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Times a gazillion, right, wrong, good, bad, public, online, shorts, boys, povets, and beyonds. Now, one of the things we also tend to do is we take structures out of other people's bodies and structures out of other people's lives and livings and realities as if that's going to like take it out of them, but it never actually works. We just kind of like take it on ourselves and they keep doing it. They maintain it. Like maybe you took like 0.25% away, just enough to like save their life, but they still function 99.9995% from it. Whew. So all the people in which you've taken structure out of and all the people your body's healing. So one of the things, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Times a gazillion, right, wrong, good, bad, public, online, shorts, boys, povets, and beyonds. So I've been sort of like looking at my body for the information for this call. What can your body tell me? Because apparently that's all that my body required. And I'm like, everywhere I took everything out of her body, pulled it into my body when I didn't need to, I'm going to destroy and uncreate it all. And you can look at the same for you. Because so that's kind of the way our bodies will tend to function. And so when we go to an Access Conscious 3-day body class, we use all of that to our advantage. Now, if you're like, but if you're taking people's points of views out and do die, Well, when we run an Access Consciousness 3-day, when we're doing a 3-day body class and we're running these processes, and a part of the reason you need a foundation class before you take a 3-day body class, and you need a bars class before you take a foundation class, is in order to run these body processes and not take on the other person's reality and structures into our body and into our reality, is you need to be willing to be interesting point of view, which is why I called this show The Most Interesting News in the World. So as your interesting point of view with anything in another person's body, anything about another person's body, anything locked in that person's body, any points of views they've taken about their body and about them and about the relationship between them and their body and so on. Like I said in that book, the soul is a different part of the body, mostly with Christianity. I don't know much about any of the many other religions, but that is what a lot of it is. And you'll learn more about soul and body if you want to, if you go take a foundation class, or discover. I shouldn't say learn about it, I should say discover a different point of view, a different perspective that you can take if you would like a different perspective, like if you're functioning from soul and body, or mind, body, and spirit, or whatever it is that you think is your point of view. You might want to go, if you want a different point of view, or you want to see other points of views, or get some fresh points of views, take a foundation class. Because if you might go, what's your point of view, Connor? And I'm like, my point of view, to the best of my ability, is what else is possible? If I have this point of view, if I have this point of view, if I have this point of view, what does that create? My point of view is really, I would like to function from no limitation. That's my point of view, which would require no definition if we go back to the start of this call. So all the definitions you have that keep you functioning from limitation, well, you destroy and uncreate all those times a godzillion. Right and wrong, good, bad, pock, all nine shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. Holy moly spicoli. I feel like I was on some sort of a thread and I forgot where that thread is now. Let me find it. Okay. This is good. Awesome. So with this 3-day body class, as we run these processes, and as we not only run a body process on someone else, the body process runs on you as well. And you start to let go as well of a lot of the points of view that you're not interesting point of view about. You're like, this is what's real and true, and this is what's not real and true. And it all starts to just change. And afterwards, your body is like, ah. So which makes me kind of want to keep running. Cellular memory, point of creation, turn. So we go to the point of creation of our body and we turn it. So what point of view could you go to the point of creation of right now and turn? And will you do that? Awesome. And as I am speaking about this stuff, I must throw in a little shout out to myself. If you have not had a bars class, get your butt to a bars class. If you had not had a foundation class, there's a global foundation class going on at the start of May, like May 2nd. Wow. So May 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Or 3rd, 4th, and 5th. I say 2nd because it's like my 2 a.m. on the 2nd kind of a thing. And then after that, after this global foundation, I'm going to be facilitating a 3-day body class. Wow. How does it get any better than that? After about a day and a half of a break. So starting on May 8th, 9th, and 10th, so May 8th, 9th, and 10th, I'll be facilitating a 3-day body class here in Houston. Did you not go to sleep? Oops. Yeah. Well, everybody, this is going to get cut a little short because I do believe I got a little 1-year-old body to look after. that did not fall asleep. So until next week, I'm Connor Hill, your host of the most interesting news in the world. And this has been another episode called Bodies, the most interesting news in the world. Ciao for now. Bye-bye.